Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Welcome to our White Coat Ceremony for the class entering 2021. I'm Selwyn Vickers, Senior Vice President and Dean of the School of Medicine. I want to thank all of our students and faculty, as well as their guests and their friends and family, for complying with the mask rule that we've asked for people to do, to wear their mask and to support us, as it was a difficult decision to actually have this indoors in the current spike of cases in our state. But we're thanking you for participating and coming to support your loved one who is in this class. I want to thank our students already who've taken that first step of really being a physician, caring about others and their patients by getting vaccinated. More than 90% of this class has been vaccinated, and that is a significant step to understanding the true role of being a physician and a leader. Today, for our students, marks a significant milestone in the journey toward becoming a physician. It is the day when you receive your first white coat, which symbolizes your entrance into the medical profession. The White Coat Ceremony was created in 1993 by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation to emphasize the importance not only of scientific rigor in medicine, but compassionate care. The white coat is the mantle of our profession. In the years to come, you will wear your white coat doing all patient encounters, identifying yourself as a medical student and a future physician at UAB and other institutions where you will rotate, and as a member of the noble tradition in the craft of medicine. It is fitting that you receive your white coat in the presence of family and friends and faculty and alumni, the people most vested and invested in seeing you succeed. Without their support and the encouragement of many others along the way, you simply would not be here today. You will also need them in these next 4 years, and you've benefited from them in these previous 4 years before you got here. I ask you if you would stand, take a moment, turn around, and thank, through applause, your family and friends and loved ones who supported you in the room here today. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Christina Grabowski, Associate Dean for Admissions and Enrollment Management. Christina.
Thank you, Dr. Vickers. This year, more than 5,770 students or prospective students applied for a seat in this School of Medicine. I don't have to tell you, it is a daunting task for the admissions committee to select those that get to join the class. There are so many talented applicants, and we would love to take many more, but there's only so many seats. You are the chosen few. On behalf of the admissions committee, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome this impressive group of future physicians to the UAB School of Medicine. You were chosen for good reasons. You're smart, caring, creative, inquisitive, and accomplished. Let me share a little bit about you. You've been involved in research and innovation. You've reported 105,435 hours of research activity. You're fluent in 26 different languages and conversational in many more. You're educated in a wide variety of disciplines, from biology and chemistry and neuroscience to economics, music and engineering, languages, anthropology, philosophy, psychology, and more. You graduated from 51 different undergraduate institutions, and you bring diverse perspective and experiences to the UAB learning environment. You are talented. You've shown artistry, creativity, and commitment through many different artistic endeavors. You play the guitar, piano, drums, saxophone, bassoon, and ukulele, to name a few. One of you is an a cappella singer, and we have 2 radio DJs in the group. One of you is a Bollywood fusion dancer, and another is a break dancer, which I grew up in the 80s, so I can really appreciate that. You're creative. There are many writers in the group, which is important to note, journals and bloggers and all of that, journalers. We also have a published poet among you. Many of you are photographers. One of you likes to do embroidery, and another of you has your own business making soap. And you keep busy with so many interesting hobbies. Among you is a gardener. We have 3 scuba divers, an auto racer, a beekeeper, and a home renovator. I'm watching HGTV for you. You've demonstrated wellness and discipline, time commitment or time management, perseverance, teamwork in so many athletic and fitness programs. Track and field, cross country, swimming, football, golf, soccer, bodybuilding, powerlifting, basketball, volleyball, tennis, rowing, yoga, hiking, CrossFit, cycling, lacrosse, taekwondo, mountaineering, and many more. I'm just tired reading that list. You do so many things to stay fit and active. And you've been places. In fact, this class has studied abroad in more than 30 different countries and completed service learning projects in 19. You've immersed yourselves in languages and cultures. You bring valuable world perspectives to the UAB learning environment as well as to the practice of medicine. There are a lot of stamps in your passports. Perhaps most impressive is your commitment to serving others. You've demonstrated a giving heart in many, many ways, and you've grown personally from these interactions. You've built homes for those in need through Habitat for Humanity. You've addressed food insecurities by working at food banks and soup kitchens. As a volunteer rescue technician, you've developed a calm and decisive mindset under demanding situations. You understand that cultural understanding comes through immersion and stepping outside of your comfort zone while helping immigrants assimilate. You've seen the significance of understanding local culture in order to offer services in an effective and sustainable way. You've made sure people have clean water. You've learned through your hospice work about loneliness and the importance of companionship at the end of life. Through crisis hotline work, you better understand how a sincere desire to listen and offer comfort can help those intense moments of duress and vulnerability. You provided much needed help during the pandemic, contact tracing, grocery shopping, providing meals to healthcare workers, and more. You've served as big sibs, mentors, and buddies to disadvantaged and differently abled youth. You've made wishes come true. You've helped high school dropouts get their GEDs. You've spent countless hours at summer camps helping children have experiences like others, even though they have serious health issues. You've invested in the education of others through literacy programs and tutoring. You've staffed countless free clinics to provide health care to uninsured and underserved communities. You've dedicated more than 135,103 hours of time to serving others. You've made a difference in their lives, and they've made a difference in yours. And now here today, you pledge yourself to a career of taking care of others. Indeed, you are a diverse, compassionate, creative, and impressive group. You are the chosen few. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the UAB School of Medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Grabowski. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Mike Bivens. Dr. Bivens is the president of our Medical Alumni Association, as well as the president of his urology practice group, one of the largest in the state. Mike, I welcome you to the podium.
Thank you, Dean Vickers. Good afternoon. I want to start by saying, man, from all of us here, this is truly a privilege. This is a privilege that we get to do this. Not we got to do this, but we get to do this. And that's amazing. As president of the Medical Alumni Association, today I have two responsibilities. One, first is to honor the role model in our profession. Second is to address the gift of the white coats and celebrate our new colleagues. First, I want to announce the recipient of this year's Martha Myers Role Model Award, which recognizes humanism in medicine. Dr. Myers was a graduate of the School of Medicine and dedicated her life to mission work. She worked selflessly to change the world. In 2002, her life was taken while serving in a hospital in Yemen. And what happened was she had treated a patient, a lady, and she had saved this lady's life. And the next day, an al-Qaeda fighter, which was her husband, came in and he killed her because he didn't want her to spread Western principles. We honor her legacy yearly by giving out this Role Model and Service Award to a member that displays selfless service. This year, with many worthy candidates, the medical alumni selected Dr. Pink Fulmer, whose career has spanned decades and greatly embodies the role model. You'll find his full biography in the program, and a framed biography will hang in the Martha Myers Role Model Lounge on the 4th floor of Oker Hall. Dr. Pink Fulmer was raised in Montgomery, Alabama, and graduated from the School of Medicine in 1972. He served and started his practice here in Birmingham after completing his residency, and he served 30 years here in the Birmingham community. He had a passion for health and racial disparities, and he decided to quit that practice, and he went down to Brundage, Alabama, which was actually my hometown, which is a small town that didn't have a physician for well over 2 decades. And he served that community for many years. In 2010, he returned to Birmingham to restart a primary care practice, and he practiced until 2016. After that, he continued his practice of medicine on the research side by getting involved in clinical trials, which included the Moderna and the Janssen trials. He is actively involved in leading the Underrepresented in Medicine Scholarship Committee. Dr. Richard DeShazel nominated Dr. Fulmer for this award and shared in his nomination letter. The characteristic behaviors Pink has always demonstrated are a high level of clinical competence with care delivered in a patient-centric, warm, and caring manner, just like Martha did. He is a born teacher, both to his patients and his trainees. He respects and values all he meets with great humility and has always been willing to sacrifice his best interests for those of his patients. Dr. Fulmer was unable to be here today. His daughter just gave birth to his 7th grandchild, Vivian, which weighs 7.4 pounds, and she's very healthy in North Carolina. But he is honored to have been selected for this award. I've had the honor of working with Pink on the Medical Alumni Association for many, many years, and I will tell you he's wholeheartedly devoted to the mission of our School of Medicine. And we wanted to present this award to you today to inspire you to a life of service, just like Martha Myers. Now, to the incoming class, the incoming 2021 class, the Medical Alumni Association joins you, your families, the School of Medicine in celebrating this remarkable point in your careers. I want to start by saying that this career in medicine, as Dr. Vickers will call it, a calling, it is a privilege. Every day when we all get up, we put on these white coats and we get to do this. Not we got to do it, but we get to do this. And that's amazing. The white coat of medicine symbolizes integrity, purity, and wholesomeness. The Medical Alumni Association wishes to start our relationship with each of you with this gift of the white coat. Physically, it will fit you now, and you will grow into it and come to represent its symbols as you make your way through medical school. On behalf of the Medical Alumni Association, congratulations on reaching this important milestone. We stand ready to support you, your growth and development toward your career in medicine. Some of the ways that we found to provide support is scholarship, emergency financial support through our medical student assistance funds, and we sponsor multiple events throughout the year, and I hope you guys will really come out and engage us. We really want to get to know you. As I stated earlier, and in closing, this career in medicine, it is a privilege. We get to do this. Not we got to do this, but we get to do this. And I want to share a quick story with you. When I first started in training, I was in clinic one day, and my partner came out of one of the rooms, and he was fiery mad. And when I asked him, I said, what's going on? He was like, we need to fire this patient. I said, why? He said, well, this patient is a racist. I said, well, what happened? He said, well, this patient had prostate cancer, and I wanted to refer him to you. And he said, I'm not going to let a black person touch me. And so, you know, that's pretty visceral. He was angry. I guess at the time it made sense. But I said, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I said, let me get an opportunity. I saw that as an opportunity. Let me have the opportunity to talk to him. What I saw at that moment was not a patient that didn't like me. What I saw at that moment was a patient. I donned my white coat, and as human and as compassionate as I could, I went in and I approached him with dignity and respect. Before I talked to him about his cancer, I wanted to know about him. We talked for an hour. It took several visits after that, and eventually he allowed me to operate on him, and he's cancer-free. About a year later, and at a follow-up visit, when I entered his room, he had tears in his eyes, and he told me that I changed him. He hugged my neck and thanked me for giving him a chance. Real healing didn't start when I operated on him. Real healing started when I was able to sit down, show compassion, not only for his disease, but for him as a human. So again, this is a privilege. We get to do this. Martha Myers had the privilege to serve people, and eventually one of the people in the community she served will go on to take her life. But if she had a chance to do it again, she would, because it was a privilege. She got to do this. In the midst of all the danger that she faced, it was a privilege to her. Pink Former, every day for 30 years, donned his white coat and served selfishly because, again, he understood it was a privilege, and he got to do this. Every day I wake up, I don my white coat, and I realize it's a privilege to do this. Not because I got to do it, but because I want to do it, even when patients may not like me because of my color. You get to do this. Even when you're studying hard and you're tired and it doesn't seem like there's an end to this road of studying and non-sleep, it's still a privilege. You get to do this. Even when you're on call and you're up all night working in the wards, yeah, it's a privilege. You get to do this. Even when you have to come in early in the morning at 4 o'clock and round, it's a privilege. You get to do this. Even when the inclement weather and the roads are frozen, everyone else in society has shut down, and you still have to get in to see your patient, you realize you still get to do this. It's a privilege. Every day when you don that white coat, you bring value to yourselves, you bring value to your patients, you bring value to your communities, and that's incredible. Finally, we wish you the best of luck, good health, and look forward to watching your progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bivens. My name is Craig Heslin, and I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education. It's my honor to introduce today's keynote speaker, Dr. Hussein Abdul Latif. Dr. Abdul Latif is a professor in the Department of Pediatrics. He joined our faculty at UAB in 1999 and has served as the Pediatric Clerkship Co-Director since 2006, as well as the Co-Director of the Endocrine Module since 2007. He's the recipient of numerous teaching awards from students, residents, and peers. In 2020, the student body selected Dr. Abdul Latif as the faculty recipient of the Leonard Toe Humanism in Medicine Award, which recognizes a faculty member and student for the value they place on humanism in the delivery of care to patients and their families. I'll read you a few excerpts from the nomination letters we received from our students. When it comes to his patients, he was never less than compassionate and empathetic. He is in tune with them and their families, no matter their socioeconomic status, their background, or ethnicity. Another student wrote, "Anytime he sees me in the halls, he always seems so excited to see me and takes a few minutes to catch up. He has never made me feel less than or incompetent or like I don't deserve to be here, even when he has seen me at my lowest. Dr. Latif embodies what humanism is, and I can't think of a more deserving individual. Dr. Abdul Latif, thank you for the example you are to our students and of everything our white coats are meant to represent. We're honored to have you with us today." Dr. Abdul Latif.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this very important ceremony, which is the White Coat Ceremony. I do start with a confession that as a pediatrician, I am one of those people who rarely wear a white coat. And when you rotate in pediatrics, you will find us rarely wearing ones, unless we want to use them for their utility as a warmer, perhaps a storage space, all of those kinds of things. But we do recognize the importance of the white coat and what it means and what it signifies. And today is a very significant day for us and for you, because you have just finished the most important module in the medical school. This is the Patient-Doctor Society module. And this module tells us and teaches us that it's much more important to be human than to be a physician. And it is the first job of the physician is to be a human. So congratulations. I am humbled to be standing in front of you because I learn from you just as you learn from me. Perhaps I learn more. You teach me words that I did not know before or that did not exist at my time. And you teach me lots of other things, and you keep me young. So I will start today with sharing two anecdotes that happened through my life. One related to me directly, and one of them is my own guilt, is my own confession from Friday. So I'm driving on a road, and then I come to the light, and the light was red. There's a car in front of me, an SUV, looks nice, much better than my car. And the light turns green, but that SUV is not moving, is not crossing the light. I wait and wait and wait, and I thought I was patient, but the car was not moving. So I honk a little bit, and the car still did not move, drove me crazy. So I go to the right lane and decide to cross the street to see that there is a man on a wheelchair that is not motorized and that was crossing the street very slowly, of course. I felt bad. I had to do a reflection on my failure because I learned long ago, when I was your age, that one of the rules of medicine is not to assume, or at least not to assume negatively. And I did assume, and I did assume negatively. And I had to learn that I forgot that lesson at that moment, and I needed to remember it, and I needed to relearn it. I acted on Friday as a human being. I did not act as a humane being, and that was humbling. And this is basically medicine. It humbles us just as it lifts us. My second encounter is something I did not witness in person, but I saw several times on social media. And it's a person I knew. This father is standing in front of the Alabama legislature in Montgomery in the spring of this year. He's a policeman from Gadsden who had been serving the city of Gadsden and the state for a good number of years, and he's standing to testify in front of the legislature. The background of the story is that the Alabama legislature was considering passing a law that would make it unlawful to prescribe puberty blockers to trans-identified kids. And if that law had passed, which it did not, then someone like me, a pediatric endocrinologist, can end up in jail for prescribing those medications, for just acting as doing my own job. The father said in front of the legislature, he said, through those doctors in Birmingham, my daughter did not only survive and did not only leave her suicidal ideations, my daughter thrived. Please do not ask me to put cuffs on the wrists of those physicians. The lesson I learned from this is that we as physicians, through the simple act of doctoring every day, have very deep impact on the health, but more importantly, on the lives of the patients and their families that we run into. And that is a very important lesson for us to learn. The the holy book of Islam, the Quran, teaches us that God sends prophets to the society in order to teach them two things. One thing is called the book, which is knowledge, and the other thing is called the wisdom. And the Quran uses the Arabic word for it, which is hikmah. Hikmah in Arabic is defined as using every piece of information you know in order to come to the best conclusion, best decision, and best action. Indeed, in Arabic, in some of the dialects of Arabic, people use the word hakim, or wise one, to point to a physician. That is because a physician has to use all the different factors to make a decision. Indeed, you will learn in medical school that there are algorithms and there are pathways that we will have to apply to every single disease. But you will also learn in medical school that every decision that we make about every single patient that we see is an individual decision. It is guided but not mandated by algorithms or by guidelines and pathways. Why? Because we have to take the human factor of our patient in our decision making. So the book, going back to the Quran, the book is something we learn from books, or we learn from the internet these days, or maybe YouTube. But the wisdom, we learn it through human interaction. We learn it from other human beings. And this is the essence of medicine. It's human interaction. Humanism is not something that we apply only between us and our patients. Humanism has to be first and foremost applied to our own selves. How to be humane and kind and graceful to ourselves, how to be humane and kind and graceful to our loved ones, our families, and every other person that we meet on the street. So I conclude with, what does it mean to me to be a physician today? It means that I wake up in the morning nervous, I confess, because I really don't know what the day hides, God knows. But then also excited, because I'm going to meet my patients, I'm going to meet my students, I'm going to meet my colleagues, I'm going to meet my staff, I'm going to meet a man that was crossing the street on the wheelchair that was unmotorized, and that I had to apologize. I need to learn who they are, where they come from, what town they come from, what tribe do they belong to, Auburn or Alabama, or maybe others, or maybe none of the others. It's about working together as a team in order to fix what we can fix, in order to manage what we cannot fix, and in order to have peace with what we cannot control. Welcome to the field of medicine. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abdul Latif, for that inspiring message. This is a point in our ceremony when we recognize two special awards in the School of Medicine. The first is the Sarah Cruz Finley MD Leadership Scholarship. Dr. Finley graduated from our school in 1955 along with her husband, Dr. Wayne Finley, and they served on our faculty for nearly 4 decades. Sarah Finley is remembered as a strong leader, a brilliant physician, scientist, and geneticist, and a kind and generous mentor to generations of students, faculty, and staff. To honor that legacy, the Finley family established a scholarship recognizing a rising third-year student who embodies the leadership qualities for which Dr. Sarah Finley was so well remembered. In addition to a full tuition scholarship for the 3rd and 4th years, the award includes a new white coat and special insignia identifying the recipient as a Sarah Cruz Finley Leadership Scholar. This year's recipient is Desilyn Johnson, a member of the 3rd-year class from Huntsville at the Huntsville Regional Campus. Please take some time to read about the immense accomplishments that Desilyn has done thus far, with an anticipation of what she will continually do in her 3rd and 4th year. The second award is the Brewer Heslin Award for Professionalism in Medicine. This is established by our late Governor Albert Brewer in the context of his treating physician, Dr. Marty Heslin, to recognize the School of Medicine faculty member who exemplifies the highest ideals of our profession. This year's recipient is Dr. Sharon Spencer in the Department of Radiation Oncology. Sharon is an outstanding radiation oncologist and physician who deeply cares for her patients who often have incurable cancer. Again, you can read even more details about Dr. Spencer in your program. And for our students, we actually bring these awards to this setting because we want you to recognize some of the core principles that make great physicians. And therefore, we share that with them, as well as the award that Dr. Abdul Latif had, and it represents everything that we think is important in this White Coat Ceremony and what it stands for. So I now call on Dr. Nick Van Wagner, our Associate Dean for Students, to continue our program.
Thank you, Dr. Vickers. Before we move into the cloaking ceremony, I want to take a moment to thank Caitlin Higginbotham and Jason Noah for their hard work in making this event happen not only once today, but twice today. And again, we also had a White Coat Ceremony for our second-year students who were unable to have their White Coat Ceremony last year. So thank you for your dedication in making this happen today. It is now my pleasure to present the class entering in 2021 for their White Coat Cloaking. The students will be led onto the stage by their learning community faculty mentors. You can find a list of students by learning community in your program. They will first sign the honor code. Their learning community mentor will then announce each student's name. The student will proceed to the center of the stage where a faculty member will assist them in donning their white coat. Assisting with today's cloaking are Dr. David Bram, Director of the Rural Medicine Program representing the Huntsville campus, Dr. Michael Bivens, Medical Alumni Association President, representing the Montgomery campus, and Dr. Greer Stewart, Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Medical Education on the Tuscaloosa campus. After they have been cloaked, Dr. Abdul Latif will present them with the Humanism in Medicine lapel pin from the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. The students will then have the opportunity to have a picture taken with Dr. Vickers. This is a celebratory moment, and we know that you want to show your support and pride for these students, and we absolutely want you to. All that we ask is that you keep your celebration short so that each student's name can be heard. If the members of the platform party who are involved in cloaking could please move into place, we're now ready to proceed. Students in the Hirschowitz Learning Community, will you please stand and approach the stage?
Good afternoon. I'm Stephanie Berger, and I'm the lead mentor for the Hirschowitz Learning Community. Brooks Bergman. Amiria Blakely. Jackson Broadfoot. Carla Danielle Brown. Michaela Barber Brown. Anupa Devi Gimire. Grace Glidden. Stuart Gwynn. Brannon Martins. Shelby McClellans. Lauren Mims. Andrew Mitchell. Haley Modi. Ashton Robinson. Benjamin Rush Rogers. Bethany Mae Sparks. Austin David Wall III.
Hi, I'm Jessica Fazendine, and I am the lead learning community mentor for Kirklin. Benjamin Balkan Cage. Jessica Ann Graham. Cameron Anderson Hagerla. Samuel Benjamin Hayworth. Anna Bremer Inman. John Michael Woods Kaler. Stefan Kovac. Ganada Bhavik Patel. Kelsey Elizabeth Shanemeyer. Tanvi Sinha. James Stallworth Jr. David Sylvester. Jordan Harrison Zabari. And Karen Yu Wong.
Hello, I'm Sherelle Hicks, and I'm the lead mentor for Lyons Learning Community. Samin Ali. Zachary Chase Ballinger. Diara Lachey Bender. Julie Jacqueline Cunningham. Divya Goyle. Hannah Green. Jacob Greenway. Javier Alejandro Gerardo Valles. Allison Tudong Nguyen. Matthew Paul Oberkirk. Durga Lakshmi Prabhakar. Frank Roberson. Isaac Delane Robinson, Benjamin Kwa Tran, Bijal Gurkumar Vashi,
Hello, I'm Todd McCarty. I'm the lead learning community mentor for the McCallum Learning Community. Amber Ann Bell. Meredith Lee Burns. Karen Joyce Carter. Marissa Hope Dogan. Riley Kane Taylor Duke. Elliot Drayspring Heron. Benjamin Michael Honan. Bradford Javon Minor. Elisa Alexandria Mobley. Anish Patuk. Gracie Truelove. Ian Timothy Sikoris. Marie Louise Tucker Earhart. Joshua Daniel Waldeck. Ashley Brooke White.
Hi, I'm Pallavi Iyer, and I will be leading the Oparil LC. Charles Edward Baker. Isha Chaudhry. Edward Wong. Javaris Humphreys. Amy Rajesh Jasani. Jimmy Logan Norris. Srivatsan Panazagan. Mackenzie Quinn Porton. Sanya Reddy. Karthik Ayani Sadanand. Andrew Zach Sadekny. John Andrew Saltner. Dakota Williams.
Hi, I'm Caroline Harada, and I will be presenting the Pittman Learning Community. Luke Samuel Anderson. Shayna Danielle Bolden. Ann Carol Braswell. Parker Tulare Cobbs. Matthew Everett Dean. Clayton Allen Ferris. Gabriela Santos da Fonseca. Cole Davis Garrison. Aaron Jacob Hayter. Jessica Morgan Jenkins. William Paul Kretschmar. Liz Marks Benson. Nicholas Tate McCarthy. Charlotte Rainier McRae. Khaldia Khalil Osman. Reed Harrison Reeves. Nikki Sullivan. Sean Paul Washington.
I'd ask all of our students to stand, please. To our faculty and guests, it is my pleasure to present to you the future of UAB School of Medicine, the class entering in 2021. Students, as you recess, you will be led directly outside of the BJCC where you can meet your family and friends. To our guests, once the students and the stage party have recessed from the concert hall, we ask that you help us reduce indoor crowds by heading outside to congregate and celebrate with your students outside. This concludes our ceremony. Thank you so much for attending.